Success, the word sounds big, doesn't it? We often associate it with grand achievements, making millions, building empires, becoming famous. But here's a truth that many people forget. Success doesn't start big, it starts small. Every great story, every successful person, every giant leap in history all began with a single step. A step taken with courage, discipline, and consistency. Yet most of us wait. We wait for the perfect moment. We wait until we have all the resources, all the skills, all the confidence. And while we wait, time passes and opportunities are lost. But what if I told you that success is about doing everything at once? It's about doing something every day. Something small, something simple, something that moves you forward. It could be reading 10 pages a day. Waking up 30 minutes earlier, saving a small amount each week, practicing your skill for just 20 minutes. These actions may look significant, but over time they compound and the results are life-changing. The journey of 1,000 miles begins not with a sprint, but with a step. So if you have a goal, a dream, or a vision, stop waiting. Stop overthinking, just start. Take the first step, no matter how small, because success isn't something you find. It's something you build, brick by brick, habit by habit, step by step. Let's look at how you can truly make this mindset a part of your life. Start where you are. One of the biggest myths about success is that you need to have everything figured out before you begin. That you need the perfect timing, the perfect resources, the perfect circumstances, and only then you'll be ready to start. But the reality is that mindset creates endless delay. It traps people in a cycle of waiting until they have more money, more time, more skills, more confidence. And while they wait, their dreams gather dust. The truth is you don't need to be great to start, but you do need to start to become great. The only place you can ever begin from is exactly where you are right now. It doesn't matter if you're at the bottom of the ladder, if you're overwhelmed, underprepared, or unsure. What matters is that you take that first step, however small, from the position you're in today. Think of the most successful people in the world. Barely did they begin with everything handed to them. Many started in humble conditions with limited resources, uncertain futures, and very little external support. What set them apart was that they started anyway. They didn't let their limitations define them. They let their determination lead them. They looked at what they did have. A little time, a little energy, a little knowledge, and they used it. Maybe you don't have the tools you think you need. Maybe you lack experience, but you have one thing that matters more than anything else, the ability to take action, and that power lies in the present moment. You don't need to have the whole staircase in front of you, just the next step and the courage to take it. Starting where you are also means accepting your reality without self-judgment. You don't need to compare yourself to someone 10 steps ahead. Their chapter 10 is not your chapter 1. Your journey is yours alone, and the only requirement to begin is a willingness to move forward no matter how slowly gain. So, to the kid that says, there's a reason the phrase start small is so often repeated because it works. It's not about making massive leaps on day one. It's about putting your foot down in the right direction, reading a page, writing a paragraph, making that phone call, doing that 5-minute workout. Each action may feel tiny, even invisible, but it's moving you forward. And that movement, no matter how quiet, is where real change begins. Small wins build confidence. Confidence is not something you either have or don't have. It's something you build like a muscle. And just like you wouldn't lift the heaviest weight on your first day at the gym, you also don't develop unshakable self-belief overnight. True, lasting confidence grows through small victories, daily actions that prove to yourself again and again that you are capable, that you are making progress, and that you can trust yourself to follow through. Too often, people wait for some dramatic breakthrough, external validation to feel confident. They believe they need a big promotion, public applause, or a major accomplishment to feel proud of themselves. But the reality is confidence starts from the inside, and it's earned in the quiet moments, the early mornings when you get up and keep a promise to yourself, The late nights when you choose to work on your dream instead of procrastinating. Days when you push through self-doubt and show up anyway. These moments may not seem significant to you. They matter deeply. Every time you set a small goal and meet it, your brain registers that as a win. And those wins accumulate. They stack up like bricks, forming the foundation of inner confidence. You start to realize, I said I would do it, and I did. That's powerful. That's how belief in yourself becomes real. Small wins also help you reframe your identity. You consistently take small steps toward your goals. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries and fails and begin to see yourself as someone who follows through, someone who takes action, someone who moves forward. This shift in self-image is transformative. It's transformative. It doesn't just boost your mood for the day. It changes how you view yourself entirely. Another important part of small wins is that they make the process less overwhelming. When you only focus on the finish line, the distance can seem too far and self-doubt creeps in. But when you shift your focus to what you can do today and you accomplish that, it brings clarity and confidence. You gain momentum, and momentum is one of the greatest fuels for progress. These victories don't need to be dramatic. Drinking water instead of soda, making your bed, saying no to a distraction, completing a 5-minute task you've been avoiding. These may seem like little things, but in the world of personal growth, they are everything. Ooh. They are evidence proof that you are making change happen. And over time, that evidence becomes confidence, and that confidence becomes unshakable. Progress is more important than perfection. One of the biggest obstacles to success is the idea that everything has to be perfect before it's worth doing. This mindset can be paralyzing. People wait until they can do something flawlessly, speak without error, or create something without a single flaw. And as a result, they never start or they abandon their goals the moment something doesn't go as planned. But here's the truth. Perfection is a myth and progress is real. Progress means moving forward. Even if the steps are clumsy, uncertain, or slow, it means showing up, learning, trying, failing, and improving. It accepts the reality that growth is messy, that success is rarely a straight line, and that being perfect isn't the goal, getting better is. When you prioritize progress over perfection, you give yourself permission to be human. You understand that mistakes aren't signs of failure. They're signs that you're in motion, that you're in the process of learning, evolving. Every mistake becomes a lesson. Every setback becomes part of your story. And each time you get back up after falling, you become stronger, more capable, more prepared for the road ahead. The pursuit of perfection, on the other hand, can be deeply damaging. It leads to fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of not being good enough. It convinces you that your work is never ready, that you're always falling short. It creates pressure, anxiety, and burnout. But progress, even imperfect progress, creates confidence, clarity, and momentum. It's forward energy. Imagine a person trying to write a book, but never finishing a page because it's not good enough. Or someone who wants to start a business, but delays for years, tweaking their plan endlessly. In contrast, another person just starts, writes messy drafts, launches a small service, and learns as they go. Who makes it further? Not the perfectionist, but the person who kept moving. Choosing progress also builds resilience. You learn to adapt, to accept flaws, and to keep going despite discomfort. You stop aiming to look perfect and start aiming to grow consistently. And the more you grow, the closer you get to your goals. Not because you did everything flawlessly, but because you didn't stop. Progress is sustainable. It works in real life. It's how mountains are climbed. One step at a time, not by leaping to the top. It's how skills are built. Through repetition, trial and error, not through one-time performances. When you let go of the need to be perfect, you unlock the freedom to start, to try, and to keep moving forward. Discipline creates compound growth. If there is one invisible force that separates those who succeed over time from those who give up too early, it's not talent, luck, or intelligence, it's discipline. Discipline is the quiet commitment to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's showing up consistently, day after day, especially when motivation fades, and it always does. Motivation is emotional. It comes and goes. It's easy to be motivated when everything is exciting, when the results are visible, or when you're surrounded by support. But what happens when you're tired? When the work is boring? When results are slow? That's when discipline takes over. It's the internal agreement you made with yourself to stay the course, regardless of how you feel in the moment. And here's the magic: when you stay consistent with small disciplined actions, those efforts begin to compound. Just like investing money in a bank account with interest, each tiny act of effort builds on the last. At first, the difference may be barely noticeable. You go to the gym, but don't see much change. You study a new skill, but still feel like a beginner. You wake up early, but it doesn't feel productive. But over time, those repeated actions stack up, and suddenly you're transforming. This is the principle of compound growth. Small actions repeated consistently multiply in value. It works in every area of life: health, knowledge, finances, relationships, career. If you commit to improving just 1% every day, you won't be 365% better at the end of a year. You'll be 37 times better because of exponential growth. That's the power of discipline. It turns small steps into massive leaps over time. Discipline also builds character. It teaches patience, responsibility, and self-control. It makes you reliable to others and to yourself. When you act with discipline, you stop relying on mood or circumstance to guide your action. You develop a system, a rhythm, a level of internal strength that allows you to push through resistance. And perhaps most importantly, discipline makes you trust yourself when you do what you said you would do. Even when it's hard, you send a message to your mind that you are dependable, that your goals matter, that your word has value. This self-trust becomes the foundation of personal growth and long-term success. Break big goals into mini goals. One of the biggest reasons people give up on their dreams is that their goals feel too overwhelming. They look at the final destination, the degree, the business, the ideal body, the dream career, and it seems so far away, so massive, that they feel paralyzed before they've even taken the first step. But here's a simple truth that can change everything. Big goals are achieved through small, manageable steps. When you break your large goal into mini goals, you make it digestible, doable, and far less intimidating. Instead of climbing a mountain in one impossible leap, you give yourself a path, a clear step-by-step route that allows you to focus on what's directly in front of you. You don't need to do everything at once. You just need to do the next thing. Think of writing a book, a daunting goal for many. But if you break it down to writing just 1 page a day, suddenly it's no longer overwhelming. In 100 days, you'll have a 100-page draft. 1, to lose weight. 2, don't focus only on the final number. Start by drinking more water, walking 15 minutes a day, or swapping one unhealthy meal for something better. These are mini goals that build momentum. Mini goals also give you quick wins, which are essential for motivation. Each small success releases a sense of achievement, even if it's minor. That feeling pushes you forward and creates positive momentum. You're no longer waiting months or years for a result. You're experiencing progress every single day. More importantly, mini goals bring clarity. When a big goal is broken down, you eliminate confusion about where to start or what to do next. Each step becomes part of a plan. You move from "I have no idea how to get there" to "here's what I need to do today." That clarity reduces procrastination because the next action is specific and clear, not vague and overwhelming. Many goals also make your journey more flexible. If something isn't working, you can adjust a small step without giving up the entire goal. If you hit a roadblock, you don't quit, you recalibrate. You remain adaptable, which is crucial for long-term success. Whether your dream is to run a marathon, master a new language, or build a business, the principle remains the same. Chunk the goal down into manageable pieces. Focus on one block at a time. Day by day, piece by piece, you're building your vision without drowning in its size. You stay in motion, and motion leads to momentum. Failure is part of the process. When most people think of failure, they think of embarrassment, shame, or defeat. We're taught from a young age to avoid failure, to fear it, to treat it as something final. But the truth is, failure is not the opposite of success. It is a necessary part of success. It is a stepping stone, a teacher, a crucial chapter in every success story. The road to achievement is never straight or smooth. It's filled with twists, obstacles, setbacks, and yes, failures. Every inventor, artist, athlete, entrepreneur, or leader who has achieved greatness has also faced failure. And not just once, often they fell repeatedly. But what separated them from the rest was their ability to learn from those failures and keep moving forward. Failure teaches us what no success ever can. It reveals our weaknesses, helps us identify what doesn't work, and forces us to think differently. It sharpens our strategy, strengthens our character, and deepens our resilience. Every time you fail and choose to try again, you grow tougher, wiser, and more focused. Failure forces growth, and growth is what leads to real, lasting success. When you take small steps toward your goals, some of those steps will be missteps. That's normal. You might try a new method and realize it's ineffective. You might aim to build a habit and miss a few days. You might speak up and not get the result you hope for. But none of these are signs that you should quit. In fact, they're proof that you're in the arena, trying, learning, improving. People who fear failure often avoid taking action. They stay stuck in planning, in perfectionism, or in hesitation, always preparing but never moving. Ironically, this fear of failure leads to the greatest failure of all, never starting. On the other hand, people who embrace failure as feedback become unstoppable. They understand that each failure gets them one step closer to success because it gives them real-world experience that theory never could. Failure also humbles us. It reminds us that we are human and that mastery takes time. It breaks down the illusion of overnight success and reinforces the value of patience and persistence. And once you stop seeing failure as something negative and start seeing it as part of the process, you become more courageous. You start taking more action. You build emotional endurance. Stay patient and persistent in a world that often glorifies instant success and quick results. Patience and persistence have become rare, but incredibly valuable qualities. When you set out to achieve something meaningful, it's important to understand that lasting success doesn't happen overnight.